where we interview prestigious professionals. Today we have two incredible guests with ourselves who have had distinguished careers. Our first guest is Mr. Zaid. Mr. Zaid had left a mark in the arbitration world by being a principal associate in arbitration, arbitrator, and a coach to participants of the second largest moot competition in the world, Vis Moot. Our second guest is Ms. Ran. Ms. Ran's career is truly inspiring for the youth as an early age she has worked in various esteemed firms such as KPG to Ms.Hassan firm to now being a legal counsel in Siemens. She also has passion for arbitration as she is an ex-participant of Vis Moot and has coached a Vis Moot team previously. Which is why we are here to hear the stories and learn about what makes them passionate about law and in particular Vis Moot. Firstly, let's rewind back to your time when you were a student and you were looking for the opportunities of which pathway you should choose. What made you choose a career in law?
So I used to love to debate things when I was younger, and I had a lot of teachers from the ages of 6 and 7 telling me that law would be a good profession. Then when I was around 11 years old, I would have had the pleasure of meeting a lawyer, and yeah, it was inspiring.
I think this is a bit more different story than we would hear. Like everyone say we want to avoid math, that's why we enter law.
Yeah.
But this is more different to that.
Yeah.
I think I didn't choose law. Law chose me. I initially wanted to be an engineer, an aeronautic engineer. I wanted to do engineering, but as luck would have it, I found my way into law, and very soon in my professional career, as soon as I started working after graduating, I realized that I was a disputes lawyer. I had to be a disputes lawyer, and that's how I chose my path of disputes.
Aeronautic engineering is quite different to law. I mean, there's a lot of math in that, and choosing law is quite different. And usually people come into law because they want to avoid math. So that's a really different answer that I've heard from a lot of people. Since you both have had a career in arbitration and you both have coached the Vis Moot team, especially me as well, because I was an ex-participant last year and you coached me. So what was the vision behind this? What made you make the decision that, I want to coach the Vis Moot team? What was it?
I think the idea was very simple. I've been through that. I've participated in moot courts, and I realized how important it is for fresh minds and fresh graduates to have that experience. It's challenging and different from your academics. So I thought it's best that in whatever capacity I can give back to the society. And it gives me immense pleasure to help students like you, whether it's moot courts, Vis Moot, or any other reference in your professional careers. I'll be more than happy to assist. I want to give back to the society, and I think perhaps that's why I chose law after engineering, so that I could, give back to the society in whatever capacity I can. I really enjoy working with students like you, coaching Vis Moot, or giving general advice, career advice to budding lawyers such as yourselves. I'm very, very happy to be a part of your lives at some point.
Okay, so I actually participated in the Viz in 2019 during my master's year at University of East Anglia, and it had to be the best experience of my life. I think when I was coaching you girls, I kept telling you just how much of a overall wholesome experience it was. And when I made the choice to move to Dubai, and I was an arbitration associate, I knew I wanted to pave the way forward. And my old professor, Dr. Yusuf Farah, actually has great connections at Middlesex University, so advised me to reach out to you guys.
So do you think competitions like Vis Moot play a huge role in the development that is happening in the arbitration sector, particularly like evolving the arbitration sector?
Definitely. I think it allows so many upcoming and emerging arbitrators to volunteer and to participate, and it also just brings some of the best students from all around the world together in a community for a couple of weeks in Vienna. It's historical, it's beautiful. I think it's a great bonding experience, and I think it can only drive your legal career full stop, let alone in arbitration, so much more forward.
I think I can vouch for this because I also participated in Vis Moot and you approached me. It's one of the best experiences, and I never knew about the arbitration sector, but I grew interested into this because of Vis Moot, so it's definitely really good.
Moot courts do not evolve the arbitration sector, but what happens is that when you participate in moot courts, you get prepped up for the actual arbitration scenario. Your moot memorials, how you draft them, how you research for them. I think it paves way for your career. It would definitely help students to at least start researching, know where to start researching, and basically give your best. I think the idea of moot courts also is to train budding lawyers so that they can face the actual arbitration scenarios as when they land there.
I can vouch for this as well because as an ex-Vis Moot, now coming into my career, I feel I've had a lot of skills that developed during my Vis Moot, and now when I did internships as well, I had more skills for researching, drafting, and I knew a lot of things because of Vis Moot, because we don't get to use this knowledge.
Absolutely, and that's a practical knowledge that you need, and that's what moot courts such as Vis gives to you. So yeah, I think it's very, very important for lawyers who are interested in getting into litigation, getting the hang of oral advocacy. I think moot courts give you that platform to express yourself and even learn. Sometimes you don't even know what your potential is unless until you're in that position. So yes, you get to explore your potentials also.
Since you're an arbitrator, do you think arbitration is a tedious sector?
I won't say it's tedious. I mean, it is tedious, but so is other field of law, whether it's litigation, whether it's corporate law, whether it's criminal law. It is tedious, but it's interesting at the same time. When you say arbitrations generally take 9 months to a year, it's because of a particular reason it takes that much time, right? The law of evidence generally doesn't apply. So you're looking at documents that you can't even fathom in, let's say, a court litigation. There are restrictions here. Party autonomy comes into play. A lot of other factors come into play. But yeah, it keeps you busy for those 9 months. It's not that you're waiting with your hands on the desk and not doing anything. You're busy all those 9 months, 12 months researching, drafting, witness evidence and then cross-examination, etc. So you're busy in arbitration. I think that is important because that keeps your mind alert.
Coming back to you, since you also had a career in arbitration and now you're a legal counsel in sales in the corporate commercial sector, what factor played in making this decision?
Weird. So arbitration is amazing. You obviously focus on multiple clients, but on very diverse cases. So it's very interesting. You also have a big advocacy element. Now I'm an in-house corporate counsel. It means my only client is the business, right? Which means that I have to know a much larger portfolio, much larger set of laws. It's a pleasure, but I know that I will always come back into arbitration one day.
So do you prefer working in firm over in-house?
I think this is a very tricky question. I think in terms of work-life balance, in-house is much better usually. Also in terms of culture, when you work for a company, like the company I work for, I know what they strive for, right? Like I know that what their goals are, who they are, what they stand for, what they do for the world. Whether when you're in private practice, it's more that you have to know your clients and you have to know your clients' like rules and how they operate. So it's very different. I think they're both a pleasure. I think if you're more into kind of advancements in the world, then maybe in-house is the one for you.
Lastly, what advice would you give to the law students or even fresh graduates who are looking to see which sector suits them?
I would say just see what like drives you during university, see what sticks out to you, and then stick with that. What the one that you find the most interesting, research about it in private practice or in-house and go with that. But you can always change, even though it's tricky. You can always make a change.
I think it's a personal choice, but first and foremost, my only advice would be to have an assessment, self introspection done. You should know what field of law you want to practice in. If you're not there, or if you're confused, feel free to speak to your seniors in college, or if you don't know lawyers, you must have interned with lawyers. Feel free to speak to lawyers so that they could at least give you an insight of what you're up for in that particular field, and then take it from there. I think it's important for budding lawyers to know that you cannot be fixated on a particular field of law unless and until you practice that field of law. So you may very well change your minds 5 years down the line and have a different field altogether. So I think self-introspection and an assessment is important, and for that, if you need guidance from lawyers, you must speak to lawyers, and obviously you have preferred subjects while you're graduating. So try and start from there, see what subjects you like, start working in that field, and then assess whether or not you want to continue a career in the same field or not. Or the other way is to identify fields of law that you do not like, right? And then skim down to 2-3 fields and then explore those fields, and then you realize. So, I mean, in the initial 4-5 years of your career, I don't think you need to focus on establishing a niche practice. I think you should, try your hands on different fields of law, and then realize that you'll automatically realize what field of law you are made for.
What are your thoughts on, for example, if one student really likes one sector but then there's no scope of it?
Obviously, you won't waste your time on a field that is not in trend these days, right? So you also have to see what's selling us, what is in demand. Like, for example, when I graduated, nobody knew what crypto was, right? So I would not have that provision of learning about that field of law. So gradually down the line, crypto came up, and people then started learning about it, understanding it, and then I know a lot of lawyers who are now practicing and focusing mostly on these cryptocurrencies, etc., fintech law. So yeah, it all depends on what is trending these days, and obviously if something is obsolete, it wouldn't be in your top programs, right? So your curriculum also develops with advancements in the fields of law outside. So you try and figure out what is trending, what is selling, whether or not that interests you, and then you can take it. Yeah, but obviously don't also blindly go with what's selling on social media, right? So you need to do your research, see whether there is enough provision for you to have a career in that particular field, and then go for it.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope and I'm sure that this will be really beneficial for all the law students and fresh graduates, and who are maybe also looking to pursue a law degree. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you have a good day.